everyone, this is Android part 9 session. In this session I am going to cover SQLite. SQLite is an open source relational database that is used to perform database operations on Android devices such as storing, manipulating or retrieving data from the database. It is embedded in database by default, so there is no need to perform any database setup or administration task. So for example, I'll just implement this SQLite database in one application. So in that application I have a registration and login. So first what I am going to do, I am going to register. So using those credentials, I'll log in. So next time whenever I uninstall that application, all the data whichever I am going to register, all the data will be deleted. So whenever you want to perform login operation, once you uninstall that application and reinstall it, you should again register. So you can't, it won't give you to login using old credentials. It means once you uninstall the application, what all the data you are going to store using SQLite, that will be vanished. So next we have database creation. In order to create a database, you just need to call a method, that is open or create database method. So with your database name and mode as a parameter. So it returns an instance of a SQLite database which you have to receive in your own object. So syntax is here. SQLite database, my database is equal to open or create database. So you are going to pass your database name here and mode as a private, comma null. So if you call like this, your database, whatever the database name you are going to pass here, that database will be created. And next we have SQLite Database Class. So it contains many methods to be for what those methods are, where those methods are used means for creating, for updating, delete, select operation. To perform these all operations, we are going to use those methods. It contains some methods to be performed on SQLite database such as create, update, delete, select, etc. So methods of SQLite database class. So first method is void exec SQL. It means execute SQL. So the parameter we are passing here is SQL. It means it is going to execute a query, SQL query. And next we have insert. So inside the insert we have three parameters: table, null, column, hat and values. So insert a record on the database. What it will do? It will insert a record on a database. And the table specifies the table name. Table specifies the table name. And num, column, hat does not allow completely null values. So if second argument, whatever the argument it is there, if it is null means Android will store null values as a empty. If value is empty means it will store it as a null value. And the third argument is values. So for example, if I want to use registration, so if I want to perform registration, that time how I am going to use my values, like more than 3 to 4 fields I am going to use there, like username, password, email address, phone number, like this. So those all values we are going to pass here. Next we have update method. So updates a row. Next we have cursor query. So returns a cursor over the result set. So I can go and I can check in manifest file. So inside the manifest file you can see what is my launcher activity. It is main activity. Okay, you can see Android name, item layout. So here item layout we are not going to display it as a first activity. First launcher activity will be our main activity. So here inside the main activity you can see, I'll just run this application so that you can understand those things. So once I run this application, so here you can see as I launch my application, it is asking add details, name, phone number, latitude, longitude. So I am going to enter name as Ashwini and phone number as some values and latitude as and longitude as 77.33. So I am going to add. So once I click add, data inserted ID 2, already have added one ID here. So you can see like this. So once I click on it, you can observe, if I go back and if I again click on it, view, so that detail will be deleted. So how we are going to perform it? What are the operation we are performing here? Adding, it means storing, inserting the value, and displaying the value, fetching the value, and deleting the value. So first activity will be this activity, add details. So name, phone number, latitude, longitude you are going to click, enter, and you are going to click add. So once you enter all the details, you are going to extract, like you are going to take an instance of those all information here in the main activity.java. Once you take all the information, so button 1 is what? Add. So for adding, you have button 1 here. So you are going to convert all the information to string. And here you can see content values. So while inserting, I already told you we are going to use values. So it means all the information, name, phone number, latitude, longitude, all the information I am going to store it in one particular reference variable, that is CV. So content values, I am going to create an object of content values. Using that, I am going to call a method called put. So put method, it is going to access key value pair. So using that, what I am going to do, I am going to insert all the information to CV. So which which table I am calling here? Hospital. So all the values I am passing here. So it means it should not take a null value. If it is empty, means it should take it as a null. So here you can see insert query. So I am going to call insert method of which class? Database, SQLite database class. So once you call an insert method, it is going to insert all these details to which table? Hospital table. So what you will get ID as, once it is inserted, ID you will get it as 1, or if it is already 1 information is there, ID will be incremented 2. Like that it is going to display. So if ID is greater than 0 means what I have to display? Data is inserted. ID is that ID name. Whatever the ID it is going to return. So if I can't able to, if it is not inserting means it will give a information, toast message as an error. So before that, you can see here my database helper. So inside that I am going to create a database. My database name is location finder DB. So if I open this particular class means you can see my DB helper. Here I am going to I'm creating hospital table. So create table hospital. First we should create, right? So for that only we are going to create a what we are doing here, exec SQL. It means it is going to execute. It is going to execute particular SQL information like SQL query. So here I am writing a SQL query here. Create table hospital. First value I want it as an ID and it is a primary key, and next I want a name, and next I want phone number, latitude and longitude. This information I want. So I am creating that table, and after that I am going to insert. I am going to insert into what? Hospital details. So only name, phone number, latitude, longitude I am passing here. So once I pass those details, you can see here, once I pass this, Ashwini is there already, I am going to give it as. So once I enter this, and if I click on add, ID inserted is 3. So once I click view button, it is going to display me the information. So if I click second button, it is going to call call another activity here. So inside this activity you can see view hospital, some information is there. Here we are taking a list view. So list view means what it is going to do? If I have more than 3 or more than 4 values, like many values, then I can use a list view. So I am going to use here as a list view, and which database I should take? Whichever database I have used before, that database only I am taking here. Once it is done, so you are going to execute query called select star from hospital. Select star from hospital means what it will do? All the details from the hospital, and you are going to execute this query here. So cursor means all the information. It will act as a result set. So it is going to hold all the information. So if that particular C cursor, if it is having some information, means move to first. If it is having any information, means it is going to take ID, name, phone number, latitude, longitude from that list, and it is going to display. So how we are displaying that information, you can see here where police adapter is there. Now in this particular Java file, we are going to assign for ID, name, whatever the name we are, like start time means whatever the parameter we are passing, we are taking that one according to that. So all the information we are going to extract here. So based on that value, we are going to display here. So set a text. Set text means what it will do for that particular text view. It is going to set that whatever the text you are going to provide inside this. Like this, what we are going to do, we are displaying it. So once I click on that, you can see. Once I click on it, and if I go back and if I again click it, that information will be deleted. It means we are performing delete operation also. So here you can see, I told you while I am explaining the list view, not only displaying the list view is important, we are performing some operation also. It means that is a list view. If I click on it, so while explaining the list view, I remember I used the CS, IS, EC, E, some information I have used. So here also this information is, this is nothing but this is a list view itself. So here we are using list view itself. So if I'm going to add any information here, and if I click on it, it is going to delete it. It means list view dot set on item click listener. It means if I click on it, it should perform some task. Okay. So what task it is going to perform is, it is going to get that position which particular ID I have selected. So that ID is going to display first. So based on that ID, okay, where operation is there, based on that ID, it is going to delete that information. So ID I am going to pass here. So hospital, which table? Hospital table. I want to delete that information. This is a simple example of SQLite, about SQLite. So whenever you are going to start about SQLite, I will share this code, this what is that, add hospital, this code I am going to share. So you can go through it, and how to deploy an Android application in your Android studio. It is very simple. So I will just show you how to deploy it also. So this is what simple SQLite. This one I can share. Another two SQLite application we have. Here you can see login and registration. So I'm going to run this application. You can see I'll just run this application. So it is for login and registration. So here I have a no account at create one. So for registration I have here. So I'll click on it. For registration I'm going to I'll use Jack, and email ID is jack@gmail.com. So password as also I'll use a Jack, confirm password Jack. So I'll just click on register. So registered successfully. I'll go to login now. So here email ID has got jack@gmail.com, and I'll enter password, wrong password. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Whether it is login properly, operation is performing properly or not. So once I click login, you can see wrong email or password. So if I enter proper password Jack and then click login, it will be redirected to home page. So I have already registered Ash and Ashwini, Jack. This information, two information I have already registered. So here we have another information. So like this we can use registration and login using SQLite. And if I use any other information also, you can see if I click on login, here it will ask valid email ID at gmail.com. So if I click on login, you can see wrong email or password is not redirecting to home page. Like this we can perform login and registration using SQLite. And another one application I have where I have performed CRUD operation. We perform CRUD operation. So just I'll run that application. So here you can see add a new employee. So I'm going to add one employee. I'll add the Jack itself, Jack. So here I can select any support. So employee salary, I'll give it as 50,000. Okay, something like this. So I'll give add employee. So employee added successfully. I'll just go and I'll click on field. So already Jack is added. So from some value, here I have entered some wrong value. So I'll use it as update. So what I'm doing, I'm updating the value. You can see first it was 50 something, it was there 5. So now it is becoming, now I'm changing it as a 12. So another value I'm going to add here. I'll just add another value like this. And then click on add employee. So employee added successfully. So there. So already update is also working. So what is CRUD operation? First one is create. Create means adding. So you are inserting the values right now. So only it is displaying here. So next is display. CRUD. So retrieve. So retrieve means you are retrieving it. Okay. Next you have update. So update also you are doing here. If we give edit. So if you want, you can change it to this information to human resource and give update. It is changed. It means update is also working fine. Next we have is delete. So if I click on it, yes, that information will be deleted. Like this also we can perform CRUD operation using SQLite. So after this, what we can do, we can merge that login registration is with that with that application I can merge this application also, so that it will be like employee details. Okay, so whomever employee comes to our company, so we can add their details, view their details. If they leave means I can just delete their details. Like that also we can use. This is about SQLite database. I hope you like this session. If you have any doubts, please do comment in the comment box. Thank you.